Breaking. It is happening. We have legitimate right to separate Yoruba nation from Nigeria. Yoruba nation leader declares. You're welcome to today's news, and thank you for tuning into this channel. Please listen to the end. The news details. A famous Yoruba leader and chairman of Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, YXDM, Professor Banji Akitoye, has congratulated Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his assumption of office as the 16th president of Nigeria. The Guardian reports. Akitoye, however, reiterated the decision of Yoruba to negotiate with Nigeria the creation of its own and separate autonomous political and economic space outside the framework of the Nigerian state. In a statement by the Assistant Director of Programs, Dr. Olatunde Amusat, Akitoye said the people remain fiercely convinced of the reality of the non-sustainability of the Nigerian state as a vehicle for garnishing and translating the inherent creative energies of the Yoruba people into a developmental trust. Akitoye, a professor of history, insisted that the Yoruba nation would never submit itself to unending citizenship in a Nigeria that is irretrievably held in the dungeon of more and more poverty and hopelessness. Banji Akitoye said, the Yoruba leader added that the political realities of one Yoruba man presidency over Nigeria could not possibly alter the continued bondage and the retrogression of Yoruba people in the cauldron of the heavily devalued Nigeria state. He noted that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria's ever-intensifying cauldron of inter-people's hatred. The statement reads in parts, on this historic occasion of the inauguration of our beloved brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I, Professor Banji Akitoye, Chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, for and on behalf of the overwhelming majority of Yoruba people at home and in diaspora worldwide, deeply and sincerely rejoice with him on the fulfillment of his political ambition to preside over the affairs of the Nigerian state. Therefore, none of us citizens of Nigeria can say he does not deserve the same elevation for himself today. He stated that the Yoruba have therefore concluded that they have the legitimate right and the duty to separate the Yoruba nation from Nigeria. The Yoruba Nation movement is an association of some group of Yorubas that are fighting for the separation of Yoruba nations from Nigeria. So the head of this movement is Professor Banji Akitoye, and firstly congratulated Tinubu on his inauguration as Assistant President of Nigeria. Then later he said that because Tinubu has emerged as the president and is a Yoruba, does not mean that the movement that they are fighting for has ended. That, get him right, he said that because Tinubu is the president and is a Yoruba, does not mean it is going to favor Yorubas, and that does not stop their movement. which supports the separation of Yoruba nations from Nigeria as a whole. He insisted that the Yoruba nation will never submit itself to unending citizenship of Nigeria. That the Yoruba nation is being held in poverty. The Yoruba nation, which means the Yoruba state. And please, this association, are they just speaking for themselves in general? Because now they are quoting the Yorubas as a whole. And it's like they only have that association that are speaking for themselves. I see it as a movement for themselves and not Yorubas as a whole. Because who took this decision? Who is the person when the Yoruba come together and say, yes, we want to secede from the nation? It is only the Biafra that I know that is fighting for separation from Nigeria. So these Yoruba agitators, I don't know when they came up, and now they are also saying they want to separate because Nigeria is in poverty and the Yoruba nation keeps wallowing in poverty and hopelessness. He said that the Yoruba people have suffered a lot in the hand of Nigerians, and that Yorubas cannot continue to be citizens under Nigerians, that they need to go and form their own states, that Yorubas too are contributing to the development of Nigeria, that they can survive on their own. And these Yoruba agitators, they are beginning to be violent, because we recall that in Ibadan, the Yoruba agitators entered into a police station and started saying that because Tinubu has entered, so that means that they can now agitate for the separation of Yoruba, which they caused harm. They actually caused harm in the police station, but 2 of them were reprimanded. 2 of them was caught while the others ran away. They claim to be Yoruba agitators. So now they are taking it forcefully that they also want to separate. They are also fighting the movements that they want to separate. And remember that Tinubu has already said that anybody that is fighting for separation is going to deal with them. He said that in his inaugural speech, that he's going to deal with them. So now that these Yorubas are his people, let's see if he's not going to be partial like the previous administration at Buhari, that always supports his people and never does anything to them. Any policy he takes and they do against it, he doesn't take anything against them. So let's see if Tinubu is going to put his words into actions by saying he's going to deal with whoever brings the motion that they want to separate from Nigeria. What's your view about this news? Please share your view in the comment section, and don't forget to like and share, and also click on the subscribe button to subscribe and the bell for more updates. Thank you.